I could not wait for Angelo because this right here, these are the kind of days that are Super Bowls for us. This is like the Super Bowl because you know why? All the shit that we've been saying, it manifests itself. And you're sitting there going, God, I hate I'm right. Let's bring in the legend from WIP, Angelo Cataldi. Angelo, I couldn't wait to hear you today, man. I
Well,
mean,
Dan, people say, what do you love so much about Philadelphia? And here's what I love. What team in any sport could have a 9-game winning streak, be 11-2, and have panic in the streets?
I kept telling everybody, Angelo, I kept telling everybody today, I went like this. You're 11-2. You're complaining about targets. You're bitching about this. You're bitching about that. You're probably going to get home field advantage. What's the problem? I'm missing this. And then you got a head coach going, hey, I talked to these guys. We're all good on the same page. And I was like this, my God almighty, you know you're lying. Hair Bob Lane got to you. I'm like, holy cow. I mean, Angelo, please, just give me your synopsis on how you've seen these last 48 hours.
Okay. I'm going to go.
Let's see if we can get Angelo back here in a second here. I can't wait, man, to hear him say this here, man, because this is going to be, I got to tell you, I mean, I would say this to you, that he's right when he made that comment. How about this, man? You're 11-2. You've got an opportunity to win home field advantage. Like Angelo said, okay? Angelo said it. You're 11-2, and there's chaos in the streets on Broad Street. Let's go back to Angelo here. Angelo, give me your synopsis on what you've seen over the last 48.
All right, I'll start today, all right? Today, Nick Sirianni in his news conference set an all-time record. Word for word, pile of bullshit any coach has ever said in Philadelphia history. There wasn't a word of it that was true, and he knew it. And the irony of the whole situation is the one guy who's under fire is Brandon Graham for doing the unthinkable in Nick Sirianni's carefully, hermetically sealed world, telling the truth. How dare he? Here's the real story. I've actually talked to a few people about this. So Graham, who lives right near Hurts now, right? They're neighbors. Talk a lot more, even though Graham isn't playing anymore. So he's highly privy to the fact that a down in the middle of a 9 winning streak is very, very unhappy because he's not getting the ball enough, right? So he makes the mistake. Actually on his own show Monday night saying, yeah, they're not doing well together right now. Totally true. Totally true. And not at all surprising because A.J. Brown had a tantrum on the sideline in the first half Sunday. So we know it's true. And then what happened was, then it spiraled. So after that came out, Sirianni had a conversation with Brandon Graham, who is no troublemaker. He's got this one problem, and is that he wants to tell the fans the truth. How dare he? So Sirianni dresses him down, tells him, you got to back off this stuff. What are you doing? You're the veteran. You're the dean of our players. You're not playing anymore. You can't create this situation. As if he did. He didn't create anything. He just told the truth about what was going on. So now Graham's got to come out and lie and apologize and go, yeah, I read this all wrong. This is what happened. No, it's exactly what happened. 100% what happened. And then Sirianni, he had to work with Bob Lamb. Listen, you don't understand. I work with these guys every day. They couldn't be more in sync. They're so great together. They work so hard together. Just a line of crap. All bullshit. All of it. And he does it with a straight face. It's like 4 years of lying to fans at every opportunity, and he still hasn't learned there's a way to do this and not come across as a blatant liar. He's a liar. Here's the real story. Now I'll give you the real story. All right, Dan? After they stripped Sirianni of all his powers, he was in charge of one thing: the culture of the team. That's all he's got. Doesn't do offense, doesn't do defense, doesn't do special team. Doesn't. Most of the decisions on the sideline, even though a lot of them have been stupid this year, are analytics based. But they love playing for him. He creates a great atmosphere in the locker room. Not necessarily. Now we found out he's not even doing that good a job at that. But here's the killer. He's 11-2. How is this? Dad, you played the game.
I don't know.
How is this happening?
I don't.
How? How is this happening?
Hey, Angelo, Angelo, I think it's got a lot to do with Barkley covering for all the inequities that they have in the offense with the play caller, with the head coach, that Barkley's having such a sensational season. Think about this, Angelo. The only guy that's really improved the offense has been Howie Roseman by signing Barkley. The passing game's 31st. Angelo, only New England's worst. And he's a rookie, Drake May. I mean,
well,
listen, did you have a problem with the way AJ has handled himself? Or do you have a problem with the way Hurts is handling himself? Do you have a problem with one of those two guys and how the stuff is being aired out?
And Hurts, by the way, when Hurts talks, he won't lie. He will play it down. He won't, we're having a big feud. But he'll be honest enough to say, listen, this happens. He's not getting balls much. He's such a competitor, which is all true. I have no problem with Brown being upset. Brown is a big-time player who has had his role reduced out of a sense of necessity because they're doing so great with Barkley. Why change what works? Plus, they've played a lot of bad teams with the exception of the Ravens, so they've been able to capitalize on it. That'll be harder against Steelers because they are really good against the run. So now they're going to have to throw the ball more. Now we'll see if this mini crisis gets them to get back on board for the passing game. Because when you get to playoffs, you got to have that ready to roll. You're not going to run up 150 yards on the ground every game in the playoffs. So you got to do it. You got to fix it now. And they got plenty of time to do that.
How about this, Angelo? Do you think A.J. Brown has taken offense that because you reduced the role of Jalen Hurts by limited passes compared to what the other teams are doing, that he took offense to that because they've limited his role? And that he says, hey, it's one thing to limit his role, but it's another thing to limit my role too. And I'm kind of casualty of the circumstances here, and I'm collateral damage in this here. So do you think that's what's really – I mean, look, the modern-day NFL diva wide receiver, this is the – you know what's funny, Angelo? This seems to me to be all about ego. And this is really about jealousy. Yeah. You're freaking 11-2. You won 9 in a row. You're probably going to get home field. Isn't this more about jealousy?
It's obviously selfishness. A.J. Brown is a selfish player. Right? I guess to a lesser degree, maybe even Devontae Smith did. Most of these guys, these wide receivers, are because they are totally reliant on the quarterback throwing it to them. Do you want to know what set off A.J. Brown? I got so much time on my hands now, Dan. I actually look at video. Very early in the game. First or second series. Hurts goes back. They're going to pass the ball. There's a missed coverage in the secondary, and Brown blows open. No one's within 15 yards of him. All Hurts has got to do is throw the ball, and it's a touchdown. It's like 80 yards, 83 yards, I think it is. And he checks down Cataldi, I think, on the play. He doesn't throw the ball to Brown. And Brown, and this has been a problem with Hurts. He's seeing the field great, and he's holding the ball way too long before he delivers the ball. Way too long.
Hey,
And-
Angelo, he's got 35 sacks this year right now, which is fifth in the league right now. Last year he had 36 altogether. So he's holding the ball way.
Yeah.
It's about 3 sacks a game now.
Way more than he did 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl. He's not being decisive. And or maybe here's another theory. I've gotten a bunch of emails in this. He was turned the ball over a lot really early in the season, the first 4 games. So he said, I'm not going to do that anymore. And he won't throw it unless the guy's wide open. He won't fit in through any windows. He won't take any chances. He's about holding the ball or running to the sideline and throwing it away, which he's doing all the time. And frankly, I think he's afraid of fumbling. I think he's afraid of throwing a pick. And I think he's playing super conservatively. Now, here's what happens. I've seen this with this Eagles team several times. A little crisis crops up like this, and then suddenly, first play of the offense when the Eagles are on the field Sunday will be a throw to A.J. Brown.
Oh, yeah.
They do this all the time. And then they will attack now to make him happier. You'll never make him happy, but you make him happier so that they'll start to acknowledge, all this you did, it had some merit to it. But the Hurts right now is a problem. I'm not going to deny. I love Hurts, but he holds the ball way too long. He's way too tentative, and he won't release the ball unless he sees a guy wide open. And that's why he got 108 passing yards in the entire game against an awful Panthers defense.
How about this, Angelo? Sunday's game, how much pressure do you think internally with the players do you think Nick Sirianni's under here? Because at the end of the day here, I mean, here's another crisis. I don't believe it's what it was in 23. We don't know that yet until we see how this thing plays out. Plus, I don't think but then again, Angelo, the teams at the end of the schedule last year weren't anybody to write home about. You had Drew Lock. You had a 3-win Arizona team. You had a crappy Giants team. Everything fell apart that way, too. I think Barkley is not going to allow that, and I think there's better coordinators in the room. But this looks like there's a wobbling issue here. Is this an important game for Nick to show that he can settle the waters on Sunday?
What this situation exposes is that even when you're 11-2, if you're Nick Sirianni, you're not in a secure position. The city doesn't like him. You understand? They don't. I get so many emails every day. The number one thing I get at 11-2 during a 9 winning streak is, so far we've dodged the bullet with Sirianni, but we're going to get it. We don't trust him. We don't think he's that good. And the reason you lose the trust in the fans is when you lie constantly the way he did today. So no one likes him. This is the thing. They like his record. They don't like him. No, if they fired him today in the middle of a 9-game winning streak, wouldn't suddenly be panic in the streets of upset. Oh my God, they got rid of this genius. No, everyone would go, yeah, figures. Let Kellen Moore take the rest away, or Vic Fangio. He wasn't really doing anything anyway. But all he's got, I got to just go back to this. He's got one job now: the culture of the team. And when Brandon Graham came forward and acknowledged to the public the culture wasn't that great, look, I talked to Graham. I got to figure out this is horrible. Let me hold news conference and laugh. And he did it shamelessly. Today was a new record of shamelessness. He just piled it on. He doesn't know what city he works in. People don't buy that crap.
Did you see that soliloquy? Did you see that soliloquy? I think Dave Zagaro posted this 500-word answer on culture and Hurts and AJ. Right. And I was reading this thing. I go, how come really great coaches go, we're on to Pittsburgh? Instead of this giant soliloquy that we go through here, hey, we're on to Pittsburgh. Okay? Instead, he gives you this word salad, a 500-word answer to a problem, and you're like, you're the head coach. Tell him this. How do you think Mike Tomlin would handle this?
No, well, that's the thing. I would have so much more respect for him if he told everybody to go to hell.
Yes.
We're 11-2. Shut up. That would be fine. No, he didn't do that because he's so insecure that when Brendan Graham comes out and says there's a little bit of something going on between the wide receiver and the quarterback, oh my God, no! Oh, we have a crisis. Oh, let me get out there and lie. I'll fix this. He's not good. He's not good at the culture either. I just can't explain his record. Because there's no damn way a guy that dumb should be doing this well. I can't figure it out. It's Dan, it's driving me insane.
It is me too. Angelo, I can't believe a guy that's that not qualified to be a head football coach is 44 and 19. I can't put my arms around it. And like you said, today I'm listening to that press conference going, not one word was true. Not one thing he said was out of his mouth true. Now, I want to go here with you.
The thing is, when you see him on the sideline during a game where supposedly he's making decisions, stuff, is there ever a point where you go, wow, he's kind of an impressive leader? He looks pretty good over there. No.
Hey, Angelo, Big Dom is more impressive on the sidelines.
Yes. Honestly, the people with the lines, the making the field, they're more. The guy looks like a blithering moron on the sideline. He's got all this emotion going on. Oh, it's just, but he's 44 and 19, so he must be right and we must be wrong.
I don't know here. Hey, Angelo, you were around for this. Please tell me, is it so that Hurts is more set up mature-wise to handle AJ better than what McNabb did when he handled T.O.? Because that was a derailment in itself, too. And I blame the quarterback for not doing this. You know Owens is a nightmare. You know who he is. You know his makeup. I think a quarterback's responsibility is to handle everyone in the huddle the right way and their way because it's a team sport. And I think that's up to the quarterback. You know he's a hammerhead, T.O. You know he's a guy who's over the rails. You know that. You think Hurts is just better set up for that? And do you see any similarities between those two dynamics that you covered?
None. Because if nothing had been, I have full faith that Hurts would have worked this out. The next game, he throws 10 times to A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown's happy again. A.J. Brown's got 100 yards, receiving yards. He's thrilled. That's all. A.J. Brown reacts in the moment because he loves to be the man. And, I mean, I guess we should have anticipated when they brought Barkley in. He was going to have to share the spotlight more. And there would be periods like this where he wouldn't get it. I don't blame him. He's a great player, except his eccentricity, right? Just Hurts can take care of this a hell of a lot better than Sirianni can. I understand. Hurts will just let it play out. He's very measured. He's not like, he doesn't carry grudges. He doesn't have all these extra things going on the way McNabb. McNabb could not handle T.O. because McNabb wanted the whole spotlight himself. It was his show. Hurts has never wanted that. Hurts wants to be part of a champion. And I think he will be if they just, if Sirianni gets the hell out of the way. Somebody asked me yesterday during an interview, Dan, that what was my biggest concern at 11 with 4 games to play? And I went, I don't need any time to think about that at all. It's your head coach. Your head coach he doesn't know what he's doing. He still doesn't know what he's doing. And they tried to protect him from himself by putting everybody else in charge, offense, defense, all that other stuff. But the fact is, whenever he's involved, whenever it's part of his responsibility, it's probably going to be screwed up because he doesn't know what he's doing. And this situation over the last 2 days couldn't have exposed that more clearly.
Angelo, Why is that organization so afraid of constructive criticism when a quarterback is not playing well in the passing game or the coordinator's not on the same page, what have you? When you're 31st, and get this, when you're targeted A.J. Brown now, who's ranked 50th in targets in the NFL per game, and you got the other guy, Devontae, ranked 54th in targets, you know that something's wrong in the pass game. Why is it so hard for that organization to have constructive criticism and that they immediately go into attack mode and they just don't like that kind of optics? I mean, and then you have the coach. I've never seen a coach tell me that somebody's playing at an MVP level that has 31st ranked offense passing wise. And you sit there and you go, I'm not blaming Hurts here, Angelo. I'm blaming the organization for not going, you're not producing there. I mean, Detroit is third in passing, Angelo, and fourth in rushing. The Ravens are third in rushing, and they're fifth in passing. They get it done that way. How come the Eagles can't take that same kind of criticism?
They don't take criticism well on any, and they try to combat it. They try to bully their way past it. But I'm not nearly as impressed as you are with this 31st in pass offense, because they happen to have the best runner in the NFL, and they're doing what they should be doing, which is give them the damn football. But you know how many years, this goes back to before Sirianni, how many years we yelled, just run the damn ball. Look at the offensive line you've had the last 10 years. They wouldn't run it. Well, Kellen Moore comes in this year. He witnesses what Barkley is doing, and he goes, I'm going to give him the ball 20, 25 times a game, and I'm going to win those games. And they won them. They've controlled the clock. They've won the games. I don't need the pass offense to be third or fourth in the league. I'm going to need it to be good, though, when I'm playing a good team like the Steelers. Can they put it back up there? I think they can, because they've still got weapons. They've got good players on offense, and the line looks as good as it's been. They just got to do it. They're going to make a commitment to it, and they do it, and they got 4 games to do it in. But the fact that they have fed this monster, do you understand? This is nothing. If Brent Graham comes out and goes, yeah, I'm not getting along great, it's a day or two on the talk shows, and then it fades because it just lets. No, they didn't do that. Sirianni forced Graham to apologize. That gives it another day. Then Sirianni comes out today and does this dog and pony show. That's 2 more days. Now it's Friday. You're back to Friday. You milked it into a whole week when it could have been 1 or 2 days. It's just not logical. It's a dumb way to run a team. All right. And they fall into the trap every time there's any negativity.
Angelo, do you think this style of play is a Super Bowl championship football team? Do you think with what they're doing right now, with the problems that they have in the passing game, are they going to be able to flip a switch and all of a sudden, when they need to, go out there and throw the ball around the yard? Because I haven't seen it all year long where they've thrown it around the yard. And when you get into the postseason, hey, you know, one thing about that Vikings team, I'll tell you this, they've given up 1 less point more than what the Eagles have given up. And I think Brian Flores is a pretty good coordinator there. Green Bay is getting better. And there's Detroit, who can beat you in multiple ways. I mean, they got 2 backs that are going to go over 1,400 yards this year, and you got a quarterback that's going to throw for 4,500. I mean, you got a coach up there who's got a set of cannolis on him that's going to go for it, and he's the guy that player – and I don't know. I look at Dan Campbell, Angelo. I believe him. I look at Nick Sirianni. I look at him as a phony.
Exactly. You just nailed it, Dan. That's exactly what – if it comes down to the Eagles and the Lions in the NFC Championship game, who do you like, Sirianni or Campbell? Not even close.
10 times.
Not even close. And that's the problem. You know, it's a lot of it's perception. Yes, to answer your original question, yeah, they have plenty of time to show they could do that. Defensively, I think they're a Super Bowl team. They played that well. The kids they brought into that defensive secondary. Bourne at linebacker. Wow. Dean's playing really well. Carter's out of his mind right now how great he's playing, right? The defense is playing well enough to make it to the Super Bowl and to win the Super Bowl. It's better than it was 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl and caved in the second half. Thank you, Jonathan Gannon. All right. But the fact of the matter is the run game is Super Bowl worthy. The passing game, not even close. But this time and this talent, if you just let them play it out normally, they should be able to right the ship. They should be able to be a team worthy of going all the way if they fix the passing game. So, yeah, they can do it. I just, just don't react so stupidly.
Two last questions here for you, Angelo. So you spend $35 million, and tell me if I'm overcooking the books here on this one. You spend $35 million on A.J. Brown. You spend another $25 million on Devontae Smith, and you got a $50 million quarterback. In theory, you got $100 million in three guys, and all of a sudden now you've decided that you're a run team and that you're going to run the football with all that money that you have. I mean, if you pay them, you're going to play them. How do you think the owner sees that when Doug Peterson had to have those Monday morning meetings? If you're winning a game against Green Bay or Atlanta and you're winning by 3 points and you're only putting up 18 points or 19 points, and he had a problem with the optics of that, how do you think he sees this?
That's the best question, because Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, 30 years now, loves the passing game. He's always said you use the pass to set up the run. But they're winning. This works.
Yes.
It works. If it works, why do I have to change it? Because I'm 31st in the league with pass offense if I've won 9 in a row. No, I don't have to change it. It'd be a good idea to do something more before we get to the big games, so that we know we have, both units are strong, pass and run. But it's much less of a crisis than it has become this week because they're winning. And that's the whole point. In Philadelphia, there's only one thing that ultimately matters. Are you winning? They're 11-2. This boob, this moron right here, see this head here? 5 wins this year. Remember this? Nostradamus, all that? This man is an idiot. Do you understand? I'll be the first to tell you. I'm the biggest clown in the circus. Just let it ride. Let it go easy. It'll be fine. Calm down. You know what happened, Dan? For 2 months, we had nothing to bitch about. I was talking to my old co-host, Rhea Hughes, today. She said, "Rhea, you should hear all the bitching this week." And I went, "Rhea, they stored up 2 months' worth. It's all coming out now."
Oh, no, it came out 1 week here. Angelo, I have to ask you this. I've always been one of these guys that, to me, when owners come to a community and ask them to build stadiums or arenas, that you want me to take my tax money and you want me to build you a home for you to live in and benefit from everything. And the only thing I get to do is wave pom-poms, and you get generational wealth and you get to enhance your bottom line. Well, so Jeffrey Lurie, last couple of days, has sold his team 8% of it, and he sold it for $8.3 billion. That's the value. And he bought the team for $195 million. And I was just wondering, I mean, how you see how this guy has taken this football team, and with the great fans that they have in the community. I mean, do you think that this guy's been a great owner, in your opinion, in Philadelphia? Do you think he's been one of the great owners?
I don't think he's a great owner. I never thought he was a great owner because he's not at all in sync with the fans. He's not. Is he a bad owner? No, he's one of our better owners, but that's because the rest of them are carpetbaggers like Joshua Harris, or people like the Flyers, who have been run by a corporation for years. You don't even know who's really in charge. But the real Jeff Lurie, I don't know why he needs to sell 8% of the Eagles. I'm really curious about that, because nothing in his life has borne the fruit that buying the Eagles has made him. He wasn't a billionaire. He had to take the money from his family to have enough to buy a team. And now he's a billionaire. And why would he need to sell 8% of the team? It hasn't been addressed. Why he would do that doesn't make sense to me, because it means he's going to make less money as the team keeps gaining its wealth. It's weird. Somebody needs to do some work on that. In the era of journalism, somebody would have figured out. They would have talked to the guy that bought the 8% and went, how did this happen? Did you go to him? Did he go to you? Does he need a bigger yacht? Well, if they get knocked out in the playoffs this year, can he buy a fleet of yachts now because of he's getting all the money? It's weird. It doesn't make any sense that he would want to devalue the amount of money he was bringing in from brand the Eagles. But he did it. He cashed some chips here. He made more money selling 8% than he laid out to buy the team originally. So he got all his money back. Now it's house money. But why?
Yeah, oh no, it's total house money. It just I don't understand that if he was like, I get Mark Davis. Mark Davis is one of the poorer owners in the NFL, so I get that. But this guy here bought the team for $195. Now he turns around and sells 8%. I'm like, okay, so are you buying and selling the team and the percentage of the team because you're not invested more so in what the community? Are you bringing another team or sports team? Are you going to use that money to buy a sports team and bring another one like a WNBA team in? I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a little bit weird because you're seeing it around the NFL. Owners are now going to private equity firms and selling a portion of because I think they want some of that Saudi money, and they've already been cool with that. Now, I know a family bought the 8%. I was just curious on why he would do that on one of the most storied franchises in Philadelphia. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, let me get back to my original point. Jeff Lurie, like Nick Sirianni, would rather die than tell the fans the truth. So he's never going to tell you. He's never going to tell you. That's why I'll never tell you he's a good owner, because he's not honest. He makes himself available once or twice a year. When he comes out, it's just hollow platitudes and a lot of flowery garbage that signifies nothing. So I can't give you a good answer as to why he would suddenly want to divest 8% of the greatest thing he ever did in his life. Jeffrey, what are you doing with the money? You'll never get it. Someday, maybe we'll figure it out. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Last I looked, since he was purchasing yachts after the collapse last year, he's got money. I don't think he's hurting for cash. You know
No. Hey, Angelo, last question for you. Do they win on Sunday against the Steelers?
I'm going to say yes. I really am. Because of what
you said it with a smirk, though. Hey, wait a minute. Angelo, you just gave me a Nick Sirianni that I didn't believe you.
Yes. All right, hold on. But you got to understand. You're right. You shouldn't believe me. For a jackass who picked them to win 5 games, right? So I come out and after 9 straight games, and I go, they're going to get the crap beat out of them on Sunday. Mike Tomlin's really good coach. Steelers are going to kill him. And then the Eagles win again. And then I just go into a corner, put a dunce cap on, and wait for the season to be over. So I'm not doing that.
Oh, wait a minute. Angelo Cataldi's not putting himself out there this week.
Listen to me. I believe the Eagles will win because this crisis over the passing game will wake up the Eagles hierarchy, and they'll throw the ball effectively and beat the Steelers. How's that? And Josh Elliott will kick a 61-yard field goal, and everybody will be happy with the kicker again, who can't kick it straight anymore.
The only time I'm going to say this to you, I don't believe you.
Right, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just watched me as I have attempted to channel Nick Sirianni and piled up a big pile of bullshit.
Angelo,
here's the honest answer. I have no idea who's going to win Sunday.
I don't either.
But I'll be watching.
I'll tell you, I have no idea how this thing plays out. Angelo, tell the folks where they can find you with the great website that you have. Also, the book, everything going on. It's also in audio. Please tell the folks.
There's one thing I got to say, though. My instincts are still pretty. I wrote on Monday about this controversy, even before it had really come out all the way, that there was clearly a problem. I was seeing a problem with Hurts and his receivers, especially A.J. Brown. My website is angelocataldi.com. I write every week on it. Just go to blogs and you'll see my latest thoughts. And if you want to order the book, go to Amazon.com. You can get it either as a book, a hardcover, a paperback, or an audiobook.
Absolutely. Angelo, thank you so much, my friend. Bon fortuna to you, my friend. You
Love
bet.
talking to you, Danny. Be well. Go with the Gulls.
Love it, man. Hey, I don't know how. He's 44. I don't know. I have no idea either, man. I have no idea. Look at Sue. 5 wins, Cataldi. What would you say, Sue, at the beginning of the year? 4,400 passing yards for Hurts? Let me see where he's at now. You and Zander. Hang on, Sue. So here's your boy, Hurts. He's going to throw for 3,950 yards, 20 touchdowns this season. Wow. Elite. 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 Come on, Sue. Elite. Oh, my God. Hey, if he's elite, isn't Sam Darnold elite? Hey, here. Let me see something here. Here's elite. Okay? Here's elite. This goes to Zander Krause, too. Here you go. Here's elite. By the way, Xander's going to join us at 4:30. Let me show you elite. Here's freaking elite. Joe Burrow. This guy has more yards right now than Hurts will throw for the rest of the year. How you doing? Yeah. Look at this here. So Joe Burrow, right now, by the way, my top 10 quarterbacks, my top 10 teams, my MVP candidate, holy shit, Joe Burrow's going to throw for 5,000 passing yards and 45 touchdowns with 8 picks. Hey, by the way, you would say this, well, he's not 11-2. No shit, man. Great quarterbacks are traditionally not on good teams. You ever notice that? The real great quarterbacks don't have great rosters. How you doing? Oh, my God. Let's see. Geno Smith? No. Geno can't be having a better season than that stiff Hurts. 4,600 passing yards. Let's see. And 69% completion percentage. Holy shit. No, not Baker Mayfield. He's 4th. Get the Baker Mayfield. Oh, I'm going to stop this exercise. I'm going to vomit on myself. Oh, man. Oh, man. We're going to redo the whole thing with the Steelers because Angelo came aboard with us. And then we'll do that. Then we'll do our top 10 teams and top 10 quarterbacks. We got to get to that because we missed yesterday. And I do have my MVP candidates too. Let's see what else. We got a ton of stuff here, man. So do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Guys, our great friends at BetUS powering the 4 hours here on the National Football Show with Big Sills. They've teamed up with our good friends at JAKIB here. And we give you this throughout the football season, college and pro. Great chance for you to experience the YouTube 150. That's right. Sign-up bonuses up to $2K. Your second and third or 125% sign-up bonuses all the way up to $2K. And if you're into crypto, that's 200% up to $2K as well. Home of Michael Vick. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business, 24/7. Personalized service, 365 days of the year. Live wagering on all major games. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sills sent you.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.